الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وولاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, we continue with the book of مختصر منهاج القاصدين by شيخ الإسلام بن قدامة رحمه الله. The seeker of the path, منهاج القاصدين. We still talking about the disadvantages of seclusion. Like when a person decides to seclude himself, we talked about when it is good, when it is bad. Generally speaking, if the person will be harmed or he will induce harm on people morally or spiritually, then seclusion is better. But if the person has benefit and impact on the community and people around, and it is going to take away from his benefit and benefiting others and all of that, then seclusion is a disadvantage. It's not a good thing. That's in general. We talked about that many of the benefits in this dunya only take place when others are involved. Seclusion will not make that happen. So among the things that you benefit is teaching and learning, benefiting others and benefiting from others, instructing others and being instructed by others, feeling safe and making people feel safe, getting reward from helping others, having humbleness as a habit, practical habit, also learning and having experience from mingling with people and interacting with them, taking admonition from what happens to people and so on. So those are things that benefit you when you are not secluded, when you are among the people. We talked about learning and teaching, and we also talked about benefiting others and benefiting from others with trading, selling, and buying, and partnership, and renting, and doing business and all of that. Those are good things and better than seclusion if you're getting that benefit from others and benefiting others. If somebody is very good in business and now the impact is in the community at large because they are a very good business person. Now if that person is secluded, then the vacuum here can be filled by someone who is not qualified or who's not good, or can actually bring a disadvantage. So better for him to fill or for her to fill that spot that benefit the community and so on. Also instructing others and being instructed by others. What do we mean by that? It's called in Arabic تأديب, الأدب والتأديب, التأديب والتأدب. تأديب, me as a sheikh or as a teacher, for example, or as a mentor or as a coach, you give the students or the people under your supervision specific instructions to follow. If there's a coach coaching football, for example, he tells his team what to do, what not to do, how they address him, how to do this. That's called ta'deeb. That's called what? Ta'deeb. Telling him how to deal with them, how to respect the game, how to respect the course, how to do this. A teacher tells the students, or a sheikh tells his people, or a mentor tells his proteges, and so on. That's ta'deeb. Ta'deeb comes from above, the person above to person below, telling them what to do, how to behave, giving them the code. Adab is the opposite. Adab is how you practice that with the one who's higher than you. So without me telling you what to do, you are doing it. So when a student sees the teacher, they stand up for them, or they go carry their bag, or they open their car for them, or something like that. That's called adab. Ta'addub. You are making ta'addub means you are practicing the code that you learned from someone with someone who deserves that. That is ta'addub. You see an elder person, you run to help them. That's called ta'addub. But the ta'deeb is to tell you to do that. Okay? Hey kid, go, this is your uncle, go say such and such. That is ta'deeb. Now ta'addub is that kid goes and do it to his uncle when he sees him next time. So that happens also when you are mingling with people or interacting with people. And that will take place when people challenge you. Then you know what to do. Because ta'addub means you are following a certain adab, a certain etiquette, a certain code. So if someone is driving and he's cutting you, people normally will act in a certain way, but you don't. That is called ta'addub. And this will happen only by this happening a lot until it becomes a nature. So the first time you are intimidated, you might say something. The following time, you just say something to yourself. Then you become intimidated within. Then later on, it's cool. Yeah, it's all right. So that's called like ta'addub comes. And this will not happen when a person is secluded. If a person goes and gets secluded for like 10 years and he comes out, he finds the culture is completely different, he can get intimidated very fast and he will do the wrong things. So seclusion here is not an advantage, it's a disadvantage. And that's like what happens. Like I'm living here in the United States, when I go visit my birthplace, when I visit Egypt, I find the people thinking different, talking different, handling things different, acting, reacting, interacting completely different. So I'm like off. Like I'm doing something that I used to do 20 years ago, and like, what? Like people are wondering, like, what are you doing? And then, I'm not doing something that they're expecting me to do, and they said, huh? We thought that you're going to do such and such. What? And that still we're living in the same era. But you are away from a specific culture, a certain environment. When you come back to it, you find lots of changes that took place already. And that's imagine that if you're secluding yourself from humanity, if you're secluding yourself from the society that you live in, that's what's going to happen. Like people now go off the grid. There is a cult or a belief here in the United States, like somebody goes into survival, like in the wild, and they goes off the grid. And there are shows like that. There are people who are actually off the grid, and they just do things not off the grid, because if some effort is done, you're going to find them. But at least they don't have credit cards, they don't have phones, they don't have whatever. They go and build something somewhere, and now that's good, great. You're bonding with nature and everything. But what if you need something? Then you have to go to people there. You are isolated. How are you going to benefit them, or they benefit from you? What is the benefit that you're going to bring to the people who are not like you? And how are you going to benefit from them? And how they're going to benefit from you? That's something big time missing. Now, if a kid is born in that environment, good. The kid with nature, healthier, stronger, they hunt, they do everything, fine. Just bring them back to the human. They don't know what to do, right? Or take someone to go with them, they don't know what to do. So there has to be some learning and teaching as well. So that's where it is going to become an issue. Somebody is there. Now the next one, الاستئناس والإيناس, يعني feeling safe and making others feel safe with you, because human beings, they don't like to be lonely. Sometimes you think you like it, but it affects your mind. It affects the way you think about things. After a while, you start talking to yourself. Because you have to talk to somebody. And it's not only about talking, it's about seeing and hearing and touching and feeling and experiencing, being challenged, being like argued with, being disappointed in someone. Like this is part of the human experience. Now, when you are alone, it's not gonna work for you. Everything will be affected basically with that. If someone doesn't talk for like 20 years or 30 years, he's gonna find it very hard to talk and process what they're hearing after they come out. So it becomes an issue. So socialization is an important. Also, one of the benefits that will not happen when a person secludes himself or herself is getting rewarded because of social acts. If a person is secluding himself, how is he going to benefit from giving sadaqah to someone? Helping someone physically, fixing the fence of someone, for example. How are we going to do it if you're secluded? So there are a category of rewards only associated by being social with someone. So that's why you attend the janazah of someone. If you're secluded, you're not going to attend this, visiting someone sick, attending a marriage of someone, attending invitations of someone. You are actually helping people to be happy. So that will not be there if you're secluding yourself. You are not a cause of people's happiness, and you get rewarded for that. So if you make somebody happy, you get rewarded for it. And if you're secluded, you're not going to make anybody happy. So hence, you're not going to get rewarded for making somebody happy. You get rewarded for your tahajjud and stuff, but but not for the social aspect. Sometimes social aspect is way more. A person moves a stone from the road or the tree from the road and get rewarded big time. Now, so the second thing, that when a person opens their door to others and they to help them and getting rewarded because of that. So when attending the janazah, visiting the sick, attending the weddings, attending invitations, those are a person is rewarded because making somebody happy and all of that. So opening your door also to people, you're giving them reward. Not I am the one who is getting rewarded because I'm helping you, but when I open my door to you, I'm getting rewarded because I'm allowing you to get rewarded as well. So it goes both ways. So a person has to weigh things. If too many people visiting me at my home, it is going to create an issue for me that my ibadah will be affected and people, then no. So you have to weigh the good and bad, the profit and loss. You have to weigh what is more. The sixth benefit is humbleness. A person would not be able to do that when they are alone. How are you going to be humble? How would you know if you're humble or not? Nothing to compare. And actually, a person who's worshipping a lot, yes, they are humble within themselves because they are with Allah. They see how small they are. But when they go out and see people disobeying Allah, are they going to be humble? They will feel that they're better. And that's the person who killed 99 people and went to the worshipper and he told him, can I repent after I killed 99 people? He said no. So he killed him as well. Why? Because he sees himself that I'm worshipping and all that and I'm still scared of Allah. And you kill 99 people and you want to bypass that? So of course not. So he compares himself. It's not out of arrogance, but will not deal with people normally. If someone worshipping Allah a lot, and then suddenly he comes and find people drinking and fornicating and doing all of that. So you feel that these people are doomed and I'm the good one. And that is a problem. Yeah. So tawadu' is very, very important. So now if we know that the benefits of seclusion and the disadvantages of seclusion, you cannot say it is good or bad. It's based on who, when, why. You have to ask yourself, and what would be the impact of it on yourself and on those who are around you. If your benefit is more, then no seclusion. If your benefit is not important, then yes, seclusion. Because you have to build what you're lacking. You have to build on what you're lacking. That's why someone comes and say, I wanted to travel overseas and just dedicate my life in studying Islam. I said, well, it's great, but we have like 100 sheikhs over here. I'm just giving an example, and you are not going to add much to it. But you, if you study computer and you study that, that's a lot good because you're going to help those 100 sheikhs. And you're going to benefit from them at the end of the day, the religion as well. So it's kind of like what you should do. Where is your benefit more? I remember when I was going to Al-Azhar, I was told to study Arabic literature and all of that. Then I met with a professor in English. He said, no, you should study English because you know all the Islamic thing in Arabic and all that. You have no problem with that. Imagine if you know another language, you can transfer all of this over there. Those who know the language don't have your upbringing, and those who have upbringing don't have the language. So if you have both. And then when I studied English, I had a choice to go study Islamic studies in English purely. And at that time, 30 years ago, there was not enough material translated in English. So one of the professors told me, go study English literature. Better. Study English literature, then you can translate the material for people who do not have material. But if you only take small material, then you're not going to advance much. But when you study English literature, then you know the language, the grammar, the rhetoric, the logic. You think in English, you have a big base, deeper, stronger, solid base. Then when everything Islamic there, you'll transfer it with your English proficiency, with this verbal advantage. You will have the advantage over others. And he was right. So that's why sometimes you think you want to do something, but you can actually function better on something else and then you'll benefit from that as well. You know, some people want to be imam of a masjid. No, I want you to go study technology and then come become an assistant imam of the masjid. Then you become actually better the imam of the masjid on the long run. So you know exactly what the imam does, plus you do something that no imam does. So that's the idea. But not everybody also like that. Sometimes the person going to technology, but we see their ability to memorize and all of that, say, you know what? No, dedicate your life here. Better. Let the technology for someone else. But your memorization and your sound in Quran and your dedication, all that needs you to study Islam. So that's why when you need advice and you need to weigh things. Imam al-Shafi'i said, be between the person who is very flexible with people and person who is away from people. Be in the middle. You know when to go easy, when to pull yourself out. Be like that. Also, when a person wants to seclude, that his niyyah is, I want to prevent my harm from people. I don't want people to get hurt because of me. And I want also to be safe from the evil of others. And I'm afraid that I will not be able to help people the way I should help them. So better to keep myself away. So those are and then I'm going to worship Allah more. And do not seclude yourself from people and end up with depression. And you have to know that seclusion is going to add more. Add more means people are not going to hurt because of me. I'm a little bit rude and stuff. And at the same time, I don't want to be hurt by their things as well. And I want to worship Allah more. If this is the case, then yeah, your niyyah is right. And also when a person is in his khalwa or in his seclusion, he has to do lots of dhikr, lots of remembrance of Allah, lots of pondering upon things. Then you get the fruit out of that. Your vision becomes clearer and your head becomes clearer, and you have a broader way of understanding things and all of that. Also, when you are like that, have also some close friend that you can go to and vent with, and so you keep that. Inshallah, also you remember death and you remember al-akhirah. You remember you're going to be alone at the end of the day. So when you are alone now, remember and ponder upon that. So at the end of the day, we are balancing this issue of seclusion versus no seclusion. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us always have the etiquette of whatever we are doing according to the Quran and the Sunnah. Inshallah, the next section will be the etiquettes of traveling. The etiquettes of traveling will be different, inshallah. وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.